Gavin, I want to thank you for this opportunity to speak with you and your viewers about the John Novak for Ocean County Freeholder campaign. I've been involved in politics most of my adult life. I've always been interested in how government works and interested in how government should work. And I've noticed that oftentimes the people that are served by government are disconnected from and disenfranchised from the process. The process is fraught with it seems like a buzzword anymore to say insiders, but it seems like the same folk over and over again are those that participate at prestigious and rewarding levels in positions, jobs, contracts. It seems like the way of the people has forgotten the people sometimes. I've always worked hard. You know my bio. I put myself through Ocean County College, through Stockton State College, and went to law school at night, running heavy equipment and doing construction work during the daytime. I was fortunate enough to be elected to the Barnegat Township Committee last year, and my colleagues gave me the privilege of serving as mayor this year. In Barnegat Township, we run an honest government. People don't always agree, but healthy disagreement is preferred. Healthy disagreement is encouraged. It seems like there's not enough healthy disagreement at some layers of government. The next layer of government after the local level is the county level. It's okay to have disagreement. It's okay to have people say, why? Why are we doing it this way? Is there a different way to do it? I have an idea. My friend has an idea. I've heard that someplace else does it a different way. The elected officials are the ones that have to face the public. In Barnegat Township, we take advice from lawyers, we take advice from engineers, sometimes on special projects we take advice from consultants. But they are not the government. They are not the ones directly accountable to the people through the election process. I want to make sure that if I have an opportunity to serve as Ocean County Freeholder, that the people are directly connected to me and I am connected to them. I know about real people's reality. I've lived it. My friends and family have lived it. I want to make sure that the Ocean County Freeholder Board, starting with this freeholder hopefully, is connected to the people. Please give me your trust and your vote this November. Thank you.
All right, I'm here with Ocean County Freeholder candidate John Novak, Mayor of Barnegat Township. And Mayor Novak here has agreed to answer some questions about why he's running. So first of all, John, I'd like to thank you for joining us here today at Barnegat Town Hall.
Thank you, Gavin. Thank you for coming in.
The first question that I'm sure a lot of people are going to be asking, you know, the 800-pound gorilla in the room is you were elected to the Township Committee as a Republican. So why run as an independent now? Now that, you know, today's the June primary election, there's no declared primary challenger for Jack Kelly or Ginny Haynes, who will be taking the party line. So why run as an independent?
First, Gavin, I want to thank you for asking that question. That is the elephant in the room, no pun intended. First and foremost, I want to indicate that I am a Republican because my personal values and the way I see things in my heart most closely aligns itself with the Republican platform, certainly at the national level. I'm been self-employed. I've enjoyed the great blessings of this country, this capitalistic country. I just have certain views about things that pertain to the national Republican platform that could not allow me to be anything else. However, there are no Republican potholes or Democratic streetlights to fix. At the local level, we plow snow and pick up trash. That's what we do, and we fund and equip a police department to keep our residents safe. We pick up leaves. That's what we do. I don't know if necessarily there's a Democratic or Republican way to do that. In my personal life, I've always been debt adverse. I'm always very reluctant to borrow, and when I do borrow, I want to retire that debt as quickly as possible. I've carried that forward into my view of government, and that seems to align itself more with a conservative view, which is a Republican view, as things would have it. But at the local level, there's not much difference between Republicans and Democrats. That said, it was the Republican organization that allowed me to be a candidate. It was the Republican organization that was instrumental in my getting elected. And I do owe gratitude. I owe a thank you to the Republican organization for that, and I will not betray that gratitude. The two candidates running this year are both very good friends of mine, Al Billy and Al Cerulli. I support them 100%. These are personal friends of mine, people that I would vouch for in any personal dealings, and certainly I would vouch for them as candidates. So make no mistake about it. Gavin, I am a loyal Republican, and I am a loyal Republican for the Barnegat Township Republican Organization and my two friends, Al Billy and Al Cerulli. However, in being an observer of politics in general, and certainly in Ocean County, and largely from reading information on your site, it became more and more apparent that our county organization is less than perfect. None of us are perfect. The last person that was perfect hung on a cross. But we have some issues that I fear are frustrating to the voters, and I'm getting a growing sense that they're frustrating to the party faithful. As I went out and about the county throughout the last few weeks, it became more and more apparent through off-the-record scuttlebutt, through cocktail party whispers, that there's problems, and folks are worried. Several people asked me, why don't you run? I said, well, they already have two candidates. And they said, John, you're different. You haven't gone from public job to public position to public appointment. You haven't done that. You haven't traveled, lived, eaten, and just, you haven't done all of this on the public dime. You've done everything on your own nickel. And the people out there are upset from top, right from Washington, right on down to the local level. They're mindful of public spending. They're mindful of how their dollars, the highest taxes in the country, Gavin, are here in New Jersey. You look at what a $400,000 house cost in taxes here compared to other parts of the country, and my gosh, it's amazing, the tax delta. So people are watching what we do with their money. I've taken you for a tour on Town Hall here to show you that we don't have luxurious accommodations. I drive my own car with my own Easy Pass on township business. We don't take expensive trips. We don't take junkets. Here in Barnegat, to the credit of the entire township committee, which just happens to be all Republicans, here in Barnegat, we treat the taxpayers' money like we treat our own. We are fiscally conservative. We provide the services to our youth. We provide the services that are needed for our seniors and everybody in between, but we do it in an efficient way. At the county, money has been spent. Fortunately, Ocean County is a great place to live. Many people build property here, and it has a high assessment base. And because of that, it generates a lot of tax dollars. However, Gavin, there are folks that say, why is it that the same group of people, the seemingly small group of people, just always seem to be the ones that wind up in these positions? Is it because they're so extraordinarily qualified, or is it because they're so extraordinarily connected? I don't know that I'm extraordinary in any regard, but I know I have qualifications. And I hope that my qualifications, coupled with my work ethic, and coupled with my morality and how I see that government should operate and how the people's money should be treated, I'm hoping that that package together can rise above my lack of connections and my lack of my being a favored son. I don't have the pedigree of rich favoritism in Ocean County politics, or even in Barnegat for that matter. I got where I am not because I'm somebody's niece or nephew or friend or cousin. I got where I am because I put myself out there to the voters, and they trusted me, and I'm doing the best I can. My colleagues selected me as mayor because they saw me for a year. We didn't always agree. We don't always agree now, but they see the way I comport myself in the direction I want to take Barnegat, and I've been rewarded with not only the prestige of mayor, which for a small town, let's face it, we have to keep it real. You're a small town mayor. You're not emperor of the universe. But they've entrusted me with that. And there's a scripture that says, to he who I've given little I expect little, but to he who I've given much I expect much. And I plan on using that thought process in my political career. The more that I am given, the more that I will try to do right in the hopes that I will have continued opportunity.
Now, talking more about some of the issues facing Ocean County, in the past few months there has been a lot of talk about Freeholder Kelly's nomination to the parole board. He recently withdrew that. There has also been a lot of talk about some of the scandals to plague the Freeholder board. There was the sexual harassment lawsuit against Freeholder Vicari. There were some questions raised about pay to play. On day one, if elected, what would you do to change the culture of the Ocean County Freeholder board?
First, Gavin, let me say that to the extent that some folk Many folks who have approached me and many who are supporting me say, John, it's a target-rich environment for you to be able to throw stones. Well, let he who's without sin cast the first stone. I am not running, Gavin, against anyone. I'm not running against Ginny Haynes. I'm not running against Jack Kelly. And I'm not running against any of the Democrats, whoever they wind up to be. I am running for me and for the people of Ocean County. The only thing I want to do is present myself as a candidate, my background, my credentials, my track record, and my vision. My first day on the Freeholder Board, I would do the very same thing that I did my first day on the Township Committee. I would go to my colleagues and I would say, I don't think anything wrong is going on. I certainly have no proof positive that anything wrong is going on, and therefore I will assume that nothing wrong is going on. But to the extent that I even so much as think that something wrong goes on, I will immediately take every step possible to make sure that everyone is prosecuted. In Barnegat, that wasn't a problem. I'm sharing the dais with different folk than I did last year, but Barnegat is blessed because both last year and this year, with a different composition of people, we have an honest board. We have an honest township committee, and that's not a concern. I trust that everyone on the Freeholder Board, and I speak to you directly right now, is honest. I've had the privilege of knowing many of you for a long time, that your integrity and your hearts are right. It's just important that if your heart is right, that it doesn't get distracted. It doesn't become beholden to anything other than what's good for the people and what's true to the oath of your office. That's what I would say to my colleagues my very, very first day as Freeholder. Now, you have to be careful, Gavin. When you're the new guy, you can't lecture anybody. You can't tell these people that have been up there for a while how they should be doing their job. So I can't say it that way, but here's what I can do. I can conduct myself and comport myself in such a manner that's an example to the others. I think the good people of Ocean County will respond to that. They're not stupid. They go on the internet. They go on places like your website. People have a mind. People have street sense. They have common sense. They have their own ideas about what's going on. Some of it is unfair suspicion, but sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire. And I think that if the people see the way I respect their trust and how I will act in regards to their trust, I think that the folks sitting alongside of me would say, I want to do more of exactly what John does. That's my hope. But I'm the new guy and I'm going to have to learn my place my first day.
Now, in your statement, you did mention the base of support you have here in Barnegat and also around the county of independents, Democrats, and even your fellow Republicans.
Many Republicans.
How do you think the voters that elected Jack Kelly year after year and now, Ginny Haynes in the place of Jim Lacey, how do you think the voters of Ocean County that have loyally voted the party line for years, what do you have to offer to them that the incumbents don't?
Well, there are those that will vote the party line irrespective of the candidate. It wasn't terribly long ago that we had a Republican surrogate candidate who had passed on and was not alive on election day. But he won soundly. I think that what's different about me is that people see that I don't come from the favored lot. I don't come from the group that always seems to be in positions and appointments and jobs, and I don't come from that culture. My entire culture has been that of self-started businesses. My culture has been of self-employment, and I've worked in law enforcement. I've worked in various jobs where you have to produce, where the burden of production is real. And I think what the people I've talked to, Gavin, and many of my Republican friends, they say, John, you're different because you are aware of the burden of production. Where some folks, they've been in public service for so long, they've kind of lost sight of what everyday real people have to face every day. When man first started roaming this earth, if he didn't hunt or get food, he didn't eat that night. If farmers didn't sow and didn't reap, they didn't make money and they lost the farm. And unfortunately, some in public service they've never toiled, they've never met that burden of production. I can say that I have.
All right, John, well, thank you very much for talking with us today here at Ocean County Politics. We'll be following this race very closely, and we hope to hear from you in the future.
Gavin, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right.